Alright, you guys, so Real Madrid kickstart their La Liga season featuring a red card and a penalty from Kylian Mbappe. Let's dive into what some of the major talking points for this game. But first of all, if you don't know me or you see my face for the first time, hi guys. On this channel, I talk about football from La Liga to the Prem to the UCL, and it's always going to be Vizca Barca for me. I was quite excited to watch this game particularly because I wanted to see what this new look Real Madrid will be able to produce under Xabi Alonso. And already we had a new backline and we had something to talk about. So let's go into it. Thibaut Courtois started in goal for Real Madrid. It was Trent Alexander-Arnold making his debut in La Liga. We have Eder Militao coming back, fantastic stuff. Dean Howson also making his debut for Real Madrid, and Andrea Carreras as well. Federico Valverde, who is Real Madrid's MVP everything last season, makes a start in the midfield. Tchouaméni and Arda Güler round up that midfield trio for Real Madrid, and then we had Brahim Diaz, Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. in front for Real Madrid. And honestly, when this match started, I did not really have too much hope for Osasuna because this is a high-powered, very attacking lineup for Real Madrid. And honestly, the major thing I wanted to see was how would they, one, be able to contain the attack, and two, what were some of the changes that Xabi Alonso would be able to bring into this Real Madrid with his new 4-3-3 formation. Now, one of the things that I saw very well that was a clear departure from what we saw from the Carlo Ancelotti Real Madrid was high pressing. They pressed Osasuna to best. I was kind of flabbergasted, but also amused, but also low-key impressed to see Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. actually joining the work in that first half. They pushed Osasuna back so much, and at the same time, because of how much they were pressing Osasuna had to defend as a unit. It required them to be so focused, and I have to give a shout out to Osasuna in that first half. It was as if they built the Great Wall of China in front of Real Madrid, because at some point, Real Madrid were reduced to taking long shots. We saw one from Eder Militao, we saw one from Dean Howson, and it's only because at the first half, Real Madrid could not penetrate that Osasuna low block. It was a low block that went to Harvard. It studied everything. Like every time you try to penetrate, you were running into people. At the same time, too, when you're looking at it from a Real Madrid perspective, you have to give them some credit, right? As always, I say on this channel, it's always going to be Vizca Barca y Vizca Catalunya. I am a Barca fan through and through, but I'm also going to tell the truth when I see one. I'm not used to seeing a Real Madrid that presses. I'm not used to seeing a Kylian Mbappe that runs. I'm not used to seeing a Vinicius Jr. that runs. So I was very surprised to the point that any time during the first half, if we see Osasuna at the halfway line, it was quite an impressive feat, which means that Osasuna had been able to come forward from their 18 to the third of the field. But again, kudos to Osasuna for the way they played in repelling the attack. Now, going into the statistics, obviously, it doesn't surprise me to see that Real Madrid had 70% of the ball possession when you compare it to Osasuna's 30% of the ball possession. Reason because Osasuna could not get on the ball, especially in that first half. That led to at least 17 shots in this entire game compared to Osasuna's mediocre 2 shots, which is something that, again, if they're pressing you this hard, you're really trying to survive. You're not really trying to see how you can go and score. You're really trying to survive. 5 of those 17 shots were on target, and that's, well, not the best return on investment, but it's still something. In terms of passing, Real Madrid nearly doubled the passing for Osasuna. Real Madrid had 682 passes compared to Osasuna's measly 238 passes. And in terms of pass accuracies, it was very high for the Real Madrid side. This is, again, I think I read somewhere when Xabi Alonso came into Real Madrid, he was talking about wanting to, be a ball playing side. So we could see that today was 94% accuracy compared to Osasuna's 87% accuracy. Now, I was quite impressed from Osasuna to see they only had 5 million in transfer market spend. They brought in one player. So given the whole thing that most smaller La Liga clubs were not able to reinforce themselves, I was impressed with them for what they were able to do in that first half. I really was. I cannot lie. Real Madrid brought in a barrage of players. We even saw Franco Mastattuano at some point. So to see this kind of small club being able to do what they needed to do against the juggernaut that is Real Madrid, it is impressive. So yes, I was quite happy with them in that first half. The second half, though, I think it was tactical from Real Madrid in that they allowed Osasuna to have more of the ball, at least earlier on in that second half, because while they had much of the ball control in the first half, it allowed Osasuna to see deep into a very, very structured low block, which meant that Real Madrid could not penetrate that defense at all. So tactically, I think this is something that they discussed in the dressing room and say, you know what, we're going to let them have the ball, which means that they were going to come out and then we were going to try and hit them on the counter, which is exactly what happened. In that first half, with second half rather, within 51 minutes, like there's just a brief period passage of play where Osasuna comes out, and I immediately see that I'm like, oh no, you have left your guard, you have left your home, you should not do that. And of course, Real Madrid recovers the ball in a very, very, very good position, putting a long ball over the top. Of course, who's running on the Kylian Mbappe? He is super fast, and then an Osasuna player is going with him, which at this point, depending on who you ask, it might be a suspicious penalty kick for Real Madrid. Now, hear me out. Because, like, the player slides in. But from the plays that I've seen, it looked to me like it was Kylian Mbappe who stood on the Osasuna player. Now, you can see does the Osasuna player's second leg hit Kylian Mbappe on the follow-through? Maybe. But the first foul initially was Kylian Mbappe standing on the Osasuna player's leg. That's what I saw. But then the way Kylian Mbappe gave like a dive, it was like, oh my God, I've been hurt, clutching my purse. What? You know, that was the kind of vibe he gave. Of course, the referee awards a penalty because, like, when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, how could you not, right? He sold the performance. Osasuna players, they hardly challenged it, which I was quite surprised by. At the very least, send the referee to the VAR, because this is a good one where it depending on who you ask, there's always going to be like conversations around that. But honestly, Kylian Mbappe steps up, very calm, cool and collected, slots the ball, like sends the keeper the wrong way, and it's 1-0 for Real Madrid, and it's the most Real Madrid thing to ever happen, to start the season with a penalty. It's such a Real Madrid coded thing. I can't even lie. The rest of the game continues with the same flavor. Real Madrid continues to press Osasuna, and Osasuna continues to hold strong. I do think that towards the end of the game, though, Osasuna decided, you know what, if we're gonna lose anyway, so let us just go out and play. And I was like, come on, maybe you guys can get a goal, but at the same time, I'm not really expecting you to, because Real Madrid are not trying to lose. Do you get my point? So, but they did come out, which allow us to see Real Madrid's defense get tested. Now, this is a new look defense from the one that we saw Real Madrid last season. That last season defense did not give what needed to be given at all. So this new look defense, I was looking forward to it getting tested. Now, it didn't get tested to the fullness of its ability, but there were a few occasions when Osasuna went forward, and I'm like, suspicious. That's what I thought. I was like, something is suspicious here. It's given we can be breached. It's given if you have the talent, who knows? It's given because, like, Alexander Arnold had that one moment. I'm like, if you do this against a better side, you probably won't get away with it. No. But also, like I said, it wasn't really tested, but suspicious. Anyway, I leave it there. Ultimately, Real Madrid end this game 1-0. It's a penalty. It's the most Real Madrid thing to ever happen. And they kick off the La Liga to a flying start. But personally, from a footballing perspective, I'm just going to put this out there. There's still room for improvement from Real Madrid and what I saw today. I did like their intensity. Again, I said it all throughout this video. I was shocked to see Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. running. But the sustainability of it long term was what was not there. There's room for improvement there. They also looked a little bit slow to me in terms of passing. That first half, they had a lot more of the ball possession, but they didn't have like the playing technique to be able to break the lines. I was impressed with Franco Master-Tuano. I can't even lie about that. He looked gorgeous on the ball. His ability to recover the ball, his low center of gravity too does help a little bit. So like he looked good on that left foot, but there's still a lot more to be seen from him. Obviously there's still a lot more to be seen. Who else was I impressed by? I have to give a shout out to Osasuna player. There's this defender. I'm not really sure what is his name. I think it's Boyomo that is his name for Osasuna. He was sensational. He put in a shift. It's unfortunate that, you know, his colleague ended up getting that penalty considered, and the other guy ended up getting a red card anywho. But like for him, I think he had a sensational game. The runs that he made, the recovery runs that he made to make sure that Real Madrid did not breach to his side, and having that constant battle with Vinicius Jr. I thought he was amazing. He did not put a foot wrong. It's unfortunate that he's on the losing side, but that's bound to happen when you play for Osasuna and you're at the Santiago Bernabeu to start the season, right? Like, it's just unfortunate, but personally, from a personal game, like this is my game for today, he was sensational. I just had to take a moment there to give him his credit, his flowers, his stance. He did what needed to be done. I cannot fault his game. The rest of his people, though, they also contributed to defending, but attacking, and they left the little things to be desired. But that has been it for me from this game. Real Madrid kick off the La Liga to a 1-0 win, again courtesy of a penalty from Kylian Mbappe. It is, like I said, the most Real Madrid thing to happen. But let me know what you thought about this game in the comment section. If you like my vibe, if you like what you see, I'm just like, who like to talk about football. I like the Prem, La Liga, and of course the UCL. If these are something that interests you, so please hit that like button, hit that follow button, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.